Okay, so in this environment, we have a Jenkins server, which connects over into a GitHub repository. And we also have a standalone Docker host. This is where Jenkins is going to connect to deploy the containers. So in this demo, we're going to spin up a container from a customized Centos image that's going to be created with some additional packages. First thing it's going to do, it's going to pull the latest Centos image. It's going to deploy a couple of packages onto that image, and then it's going to save that image back as a new image. And lastly, it's going to deploy a container from that newly created image. So let me go ahead and show you the job. Let me go to configure. So down below, you're going to see the SCM repository. Here's the URL for that repository. Let me go show you what that looks like. Here's the repository. There's a few files that are related to it. The file that I'm going to be working with is the Dockerfile. In this file, you can see it's going to grab a CentOS image and it's going to install a couple of packages onto it. Here's the build triggers. GitHub has a webhook that you can configure with Jenkins. When there's a change to one of the files in the repository, it'll go out and trigger the build to take place. Below, I'm using a poll. Poll is going to take place every minute. If it sees a change in any files of the repository, it's going to go ahead and kick off a new build. Let's go take a look at the build steps. Here are the build steps below. The first thing it's going to do is going to log into the Docker host. It's going to see if there is a current container in the environment that we're deploying, which is the CentOS demo container. If there is, it's going to stop it, and then it's going to go ahead and remove that container. So we'll kind of set up the environment so the container is always at a clean state. The second thing it's going to do, it's going to send over the Docker file from the SCM repository over into the Docker host. It's then going to create a new image called CentOS update image using that Docker file. Lastly, what it's going to do, it's going to execute the Docker run command. It's going to create a container called CentOS demo, and it's going to create that from the CentOS update image that was just created. So let's go ahead and kick off that job now. Build now will actually do the execution of that build. Let's take a look at that process. If we go over into the Docker host, we can see that the CentOS image has been pulled. And we can see that it's being deployed and the packages are being installed. Once the packages are installed, it's going to go ahead and create the new image. Okay, it's finished successfully. At this point, you can see the container was created by the name of CentOS demo, and it used the image CentOS updated image that we just created. And we can see that the image is being created also. Let's go ahead and log into that image. And now I'm going to check to see if the packages were installed. And you can see OpenSSH was installed. The next part of the demo, I'm going to install a new package to that base image and deploy a container against it. I want to install NFS. So let's check to see if NFS is currently installed. And it's not. So let's go ahead and make the change to the Docker file that exists in the repository. And let's go ahead and save that change. And let's go back to the build itself. And let's wait for the poll to take place. It's taking place every minute. And there it is. So it recognized there was a change to the Dockerfile repository. And it's going to go ahead and initiate a new build. If we go back into the Docker host and search for that container, we can see that it's no longer deployed. At this time, it's actually deploying a new container from CentOS. It's adding the packages, and then it's going to create or update the golden image with that new package. And then it's going to go ahead and redeploy the container CentOS demo. You can see the container now is called CentOS demo. Let's check the logs. Log shows success. Let's log back into the container. And now let's go ahead and check to see if NFS has installed. And you can see NFS was installed correctly. So this concludes the demo. Thank you for watching.